Thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to us. We really appreciate it. First off, I need to ask you this. It's been you last fought in UFC in 2015, December of 2015. So how does it feel to make your return in Invicta in 2018?
Yeah, I mean, it's been kind of a busy couple years, and I've just worked on myself and worked on my training and worked on getting better in all areas. I've competed a lot in jiu-jitsu, and I've gone to the No-Gi Worlds, both 2016 and 2017, and then fought last year and then had a couple of fight opportunities fall through. So I've been training and staying busy and bettering myself as an athlete and as a person.
Outstanding. And we even saw you during Submission Underground 5. How was that experience like?
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. I had a great time. Amanda Lone is, very skilled, and I felt great about the match. And unfortunately, towards the end of the match, we went to the overtime. I was very dominant, but in those rules, you have to get the submission, and I wasn't able to get one in the kind of the standard time. And then in the overtime, I thought that she had tapped, so I let go of a position, and then she hadn't, or there was confusion. Anyway, so she ended up getting the win, but it was a great experience, and definitely I hope to get back there again and compete with the Submission Underground.
All right, and you're a veteran in the sport. You paved way for the women in MMA today. So, just looking back at your career and now you again coming back to Invicta, how does this all feel like for you?
It just feels like another fight, which is great. I have a lot to prove at this point, and I'm ready to show that and get going.
All right, and when Shannon Knapp called you, and said she wants you to return to Invicta and fight in Invicta, what was your initial reaction to that?
I love working with Shannon. She's a great promoter, and I really feel that she cares about her athletes and about my career and about all the other females and their careers. And she's done a lot since Strikeforce. Since I don't even know, she might have worked with Elite XC as well. I've known her a long time, and she's definitely always been kind of pushing the women into the forefront. And Invicta is an amazing promotion to fight for, and I'm just honored to be the main event.
All right, and just looking back at your career, you've been the bantamweight champion in Strikeforce. You've as I said, paved way for the women today that are fighting everywhere in the world. So just looking back and looking at where the women are now in this past decade, what is your reaction to how far the women have come along in the sport?
It's changed a lot since I first started fighting. I mean, my first fight was on a reserve where there wasn't sanctioning, and we ended up having someone throw a rock through our back window as we were leaving. So to go from that to now seeing women on the biggest stages, some of the most popular fighters are now female fighters. It's just a great thing to see, and I'm happy to have been a part of it for a long time and still have so much more to give in the sport, and feel at this point, even though I'm considered a veteran, I feel like I'm as fresh as I was when I first started.
All right. And, before, I think it was last year when you said you wanted to move down to 125 for the next fight. So when you were offered this fight, was there any, hesitation on your part? Did you say you want to fight at 125, or did you just take the fight at 135?
No, I'm not doing 125. I took some time to try and see if I could get there in a healthy way, but it's just a division that's too small for me. It'd be too big of a weight cut, and I think too drastic a change on my body to try and maintain that. Maybe I could make it once if I had to, but I don't think that physically I would feel very well, and I don't think that it's the healthy choice for longevity in my career in MMA.
All right, understood. And the other thing is, you've been fighting since 2006 non-stop until 2015. So, in this couple of years, although you have fought outside, how different has it been for you just to take some time off, not competing, just, enjoying, doing your personal stuff? How has that kind of been for you the past couple of years?
Very frustrating. I mean, I've enjoyed everything that I've done. I did have an injury, and I was working on 25. But I've enjoyed competing and staying active in the jiu-jitsu and the grappling and whatever I could find. But it's been frustrating to have fights fall through, and in September I was supposed to fight, and 3 days before the fight fell through. So I've been training, and I've been in training camps, and not all have come to fruition. But all you can do is try and better yourself every time, and use all your experiences to get better. And that's what I think that I've done.
All right, so I also wanted to ask you about that. Before the fight with Pannie, was scheduled in January. You were supposed to fight in September. So just coming back, to fighting in the United States after 2 years, what was the initial reaction of yours when you were told that the fight would not be happening?
I mean, I was pretty disappointed, of course. It's anytime a fight falls through is disappointing, and I've had a lot of struggles in my career trying to get opponents to take fights with me, and in this instance, it was a matter of the matchmaker of the promotion just not sending a fight contract out. So I was told that the girl had received a contract. She never got the appropriate contract, so she pulled out of the fight like a week or two before. And it was just a messy situation too. Injuries happen, things happen and come up, but to have it be for the sheer fact of not sending an email was extremely frustrating. And, again, I've put my body on the line. I've focused in on the training camp. I'm mentally prepared, physically prepared. My training partners, they've put their bodies on the line as well. My coach, Adam Zuzek, my team at Zuma, my wrestling coaches, everyone who's helped me has given me their time. My strength coach, Tyler Goodale, he's given programs and specifically focused on the fight. And, it kind of seems like a waste of everyone's time, and especially if I'm not able to give them money afterwards because I didn't get to fight. It's just disappointing.
All right. Now, just talking about your upcoming fight with Pannie, she's again one of the most exciting fighters. She's a prospect. Although she has lost her previous 2 fights, she has. Just looking at the stylistic matchup, what do you think about your opponent?
I think this is a great fight. I think it's a great fight for myself. I think Pannie probably clearly thinks it's a great fight for her as well. The fans are definitely going to win on this fight because Pannie, in all the fights I've seen, she loves to stand, she loves to strike, she has crisp striking. That's exciting for me. It's not someone who's just going to try and hug me on the cage, and we can kind of exchange and use that. And I know that she likes her left hook, and I also like my left hook. So I definitely love to connect on a big hook and get a finish that way. My coach has said if I land a left hook and get a knockout, he's going to do push-ups in the cage. So we'll hold him to that.
All right, fantastic. And, as you said, your fight fell through in September, but then, this fight was booked in January. So between September and January, for how long did you have to go back to the training camp? How much time, did you get to spend preparing for Pannie?
Well, I just found Pannie as an opponent about 4 weeks from the fight date. So I haven't known about Pannie for too long, which is fine. I'm training and I want to implement my game plan regardless of who I'm fighting. But it is nice to have that locked down and set in, especially around the holidays. You always wonder if there'll be someone who will step up. And yeah, I mean, it's just been training. I did Submission Underground, which was October. I tried to actually take a few short notice fights, see whatever, I put my name out there kind of anytime an opportunity comes up. But I'm always training. So it's, you just have to make sure that you ebb and flow and make sure you don't overtrain. But I feel on point and really sharp for next Saturday. This Saturday.
Right. And, just saying that, you've obviously faced some of the best, women's fighters ever, and you've beaten most of them. So does this kind of seem to you as your second chance in MMA? What's your feeling like? Because, obviously you're coming back to fighting in the United States after 2 years. So how does this fight feel for you?
I'm just as excited, probably more excited than I've been in a long time. Maybe the break is good, I don't know. But I'm definitely hungry for a win, and not just a decision win where you play it safe. I really want to go out there and show everything that I can do. I want to show my power, show my speed, use my strength. And that's something that I haven't done in the last, few fights. So this is the time where I need to make it happen. I know that I'm the best in the world, and I need to prove that, and I need to get a belt, get a shiny belt put around my waist, so the world can know that too.
Right, as I was just about to say that although, we say that you're a veteran, you're all of that, but you're still very young, so does that kind of have, any importance? Do you have that insights, getting the Invicta Bantamweight Championship?
I absolutely want the belt. I mean, if you're not, and I talked to my coach, Adam, about this. I was down in Milwaukee and trained with Duke Rufus for a few days, and he'll be out at the fight. Most people talk about, if you're not in to be the best, if you're not in to get the belt and to be the champion, this is not a sport where you just dabble in and I don't think it is anyway. It's too serious for that. So I'm definitely in to get that belt, and I don't really think age is a factor. My body is great, and I feel, as I say, just as energetic as I did my first fight.
All right, so, final few questions. Now that you're coming back, what is the one thing that you want to achieve? Because you've done virtually everything there is. You've won the Bantamweight Championship in Strikeforce. You've competed with who's who in women's MMA. What is the one thing that you still think that you need to accomplish in the sport?
I think there's so many things I want to accomplish in this sport. I mean, I don't have any submissions on my record, and I do have great submissions. I'd like to have more one-punch knockouts. I'd like to have at least one more, if not two titles. The Invicta title and the UFC title would both be pretty great things to have, within my career. But I just take it every fight at a time, and I just need to have the best performances that I can have and not hold back. And so that's kind of what I want to accomplish in the sport, is every fight moving forward is showing something new and making it exciting and not holding back.
All right, and if a lot of women obviously want to make it to the UFC, obviously want to reach the pinnacle of the sport, you as someone that paved way for all the women, do you have any advice for the up and coming fighters that want to get into the sport of MMA and excel at it?
I always say the most important thing is being passionate about it, because if you're not passionate about competing, if you're not passionate about training, you're not going to have a longevity or a long career at all in MMA. It is a grind. There are the political side of things, the physical side of things, the setbacks, the highs, the lows. You have to be able to deal with all of that. And so I think you have to, first and foremost, have the passion for the sport. You have to have the dedication and the work ethic to put the time in. And then you have to find the right coach for you. I'm fortunate that I've been at Zuma, and I've been with my coach, Adam Zujek, since the start. And I've worked with a lot of great coaches over the years. I've been with my strength coach, Tyler Goodale, since before my first fight as well. So to have that team around you and that support system who are there, who know you, who know your strengths, who know your weaknesses, who can challenge you, and then to add in other coaches and other teammates and different training partners that can benefit you, that's really important. So I'm fortunate this camp to have worked with Bibiano Fernandez, who's an amazing bantamweight, probably the top in the world, who's the one champion. I went down and worked with Duke Rufus and Daniel Vanderlei and Scott Cushman down there. I was out in Vegas and worked with John Wood, and so to get all those little pieces kind of put together, and then to have my home base be Adam Zujek, my wrestling coaches, Mike Sullivan, Michael Kappas, Steve Reynolds. I just feel really positive to have such a good team around, and that's where all the girls and all athletes in MMA should kind of strive to get.
All right, sounds fantastic. Finally, Sarah, the Indian fans will have to wake up early in the morning. They will, because we are excited to watch you, return inside the cage again. So, do you have any message for the Indian fans who, obviously have been rooting for you, have been waiting for your return? Do you have any message for them?
Well, just thank you for the support. I mean, any community, any single person who is behind me or is willing to watch me fight, or is, willing to get up early or to stay up late, or even, say something nice, or I mean, there's lots of people who say mean things as well, but anyone who supported my career at all I'm very grateful for, because it is a sport where there can be a lot of negativity, and just to even have 1 or 2 positive messages come your way means a lot.
All right, fantastic. Sorry. Thank you once again, Sarah. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Obviously, all the very best for the upcoming fight this weekend, and we can't wait to see you back inside the cage again.
Thank you so much. Thanks for following me and getting in contact.
Thank you so much. Take care. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.